It's another episode of the Grab Bag series. 7 more pocket knives are cleaned up. Let's take a look at how they turned out and grab some more to work on. Coming right up. Hello everybody, and thanks for coming back for another video. This is Dave and I'm glad you're with me. I'm out here in the shop and just finished up these 7 pocket knives that I grabbed from last week. I got started on them bright and early this morning and I finished them up. So let's go ahead and check them out. So here's our first knife right here. And this one here really didn't need too much work. It was in really good shape. This is our serrated blade milling tester. And the blade was in really good shape. You can see the serrations, the fine serrations on it. And I did a little bit of cleanup down inside on it. And did a little scratch remover on the handles. And this is a really good, this is a Colonial. And really good blade alignment you can see there. Really good snap, nice spring. Really nice knife. Didn't have to do too much to it, just clean it up a little bit. And then next up to show you is this knife right here. And there again, not too much work on this. I'm going to save this one and put it on the back burner. I'm not going to call it done yet. I cleaned it up a little bit. The blade still needs some work. There's some scratches from previous grinding right here. Somebody did on the edge. This is a Japanese made pruning knife, hawkbill knife. And I just don't like these bolsters. You can see how thick the scales are. So I plan on making some thicker bolsters for this knife. So I'm going to put it to the side, and when I get the time, I'll put some thicker bolsters on it. And I think that'll make the knife look a lot better. And then maybe even put a bail on the end of it. So I'm not going to call this one completely done, but I did clean it up a little bit. And then next up is this one. And this is our Klein hawkbill pruning knife. And there again, didn't really need too much work. Good quality knife right here, liner lock. That other Japanese made one doesn't have any lock on it. This one has a really nice liner lock that functions great. All I did was clean it up, oil it, give it a little polish. And so there's that knife. Okay, moving on to show you, we have this knife right here. And this is our Made in Ireland Barlow, and here's how it turned out. The handles were really filthy. The bolsters weren't too bad on it. The blade does have some pitting that I couldn't get out, and the edge still needs some work right here. It's a little bit boogered up from sharpening, and there's some pitting in it from previous rust. But we got it cleaned up and a good functional knife again, and managed to get it cleaned up down inside and get the handles. This one did have its bail already on it. And so there's our Big Daddy Barlow made in the Republic of Ireland. Okay, and then the next knife to show you is this one right here, and here's how it turned out. This appears to me to be an exact copy of an LB7 Schrade. I need to pull one out and look and compare them side by side, but I believe they copied down to a T an LB7. I'm not sure the blade. I'm sure the blade quality isn't as good. This one was made in Pakistan. But the fit and finish overall isn't bad at all on it, really. I mean, there's a few gaps in the handle scales and stuff. But overall, it has a really nice spring in it. It does lock up nice. Doesn't have any play in it at all. And good action, good blade alignment, all that stuff for a cheap made in Pakistan LB7 copy. This is a pretty nice knife. Not sure how long it'll hold an edge for, but it seems like a pretty nice knife. So there it is, all cleaned up. Next up to show you is this one right here. And this is our Rough Rider muskrat knife. And here's how it turned out. Not 100% happy with the shield right here. I made one out of brass right here, you can see. And I wasn't happy with how that turned out. So what I did is I casted some pewter in there for the shield. And I had some voids down here at the bottom. And this was after probably my 10th attempt at trying to get a good pour. And that was the best one that came out. So I just went with that one. Popped it back out and then epoxied it in place. But this one was just really filthy. Other than missing the badge, the blades had a lot of gunk built up on them. The edges still have some gunk that I haven't cleaned up. I haven't cleaned the edges up on this one yet. But I got all the gunk that it had all along the springs and all that. It was just really built up. And then a couple other things I did to this knife. This bone scale right here was sticking up quite a bit. There was a big gap right in here that was all filled in with a lot of dirt, but there was glue material that they used, I guess, to glue these scales down in addition to pinning them. And I managed to pry it up high enough without cracking the bone to clean all that out underneath and get it nice and clean, and then wiped it with alcohol and stuff, ran an alcohol pad through there, and then I re-epoxied it down. And I suspect that that gap was in there out of the factory because the bolster is proud now, whereas it wasn't before. It was flush with the bolster. So I'm sure out of the factory that gap was in there, but I didn't want to sand down the bolster any and lose the design that it has in it. So I just left that. And then the other thing, besides making the shield, I did is these, I'm going to call them like scalloped jigging. I'm not sure if there's a term for it or not. I went ahead and sanded a lot of it out. It just seemed like with the bolsters having that design on them and then all that in the bone, it was just too much. So I sanded a lot of it out, most of it out, and just kind of left it smooth like that. And so it kind of gives it a pocket worn look. And then just polished the bone up. But I did that on both sides just so those wouldn't be so prominent. And I like the looks of it better that way with these bolsters. Now, if these were just plain smooth bolsters, I probably wouldn't have done that. But it just seemed like they were kind of, it was just, you know, making it a little gaudy looking, you know. So that's how our muskrat turned out. And then last up to show you, and then we'll grab another handful to work on, is this knife right here. And I bet you thought I was going to repaint it, right? Nope. Here it is right here. What I opted to do on this one was blue it. So I stripped the last bit of paint it had on it off, and then I gave it a good sanding and polishing and buffed it out and everything, and then I blued it. And the reasoning for that was just, you know, if I painted it, the paint's going to eventually chip off again anyway. But with the blued finish, you know, that won't happen. It won't chip off. And then I didn't oil it. You do, you know, with a blued finish, you will have to maintain it. But I didn't want to oil it, and then you put it in your pocket and get oil in your pocket. So I just put a good coat of wax on it. So that kind of protects the blued finish, but periodically you need to put another coat of wax on it to protect it. So the blade will be pretty much maintenance free because it's made out of stainless steel. So on this one, I took the knife apart because it wasn't locking up. Open it would not lock like it is now. And I had to do a little filing on the tang and that notch. It was from wear, but I managed to, there was enough metal there for me to file that notch in a little bit better, a little bit deeper, so that it does now lock up. I haven't sharpened this one yet. It needs a little bit here on the edge. I haven't sharpened it yet. Oh, and I made a bail for it. It's not the greatest bail. This This was the hardest bail I ever had to make, I think, because it's so small. I made it out of nickel. The lock bar here, I blued that as well. So it did have a bail, but it fell off at some point or whatever, or somebody took it off. And so I crudely made a little bail for it. This is a cat knife. Most people refer to these as cat knives if you're not familiar. What it is it's a copy of a K555K knife, and I can tell you what little bit I know about K knives, cat knives. It's a design that's been around for 150 years, and they're still making them today in Germany. Originally they were made in Germany. This is a copy that was made in Japan, and it was imported by the OMOR company, which is the name of the gentleman that had the import company backwards, and they put a cat on it just like the original. But if you have an original German made K knife or cat knife, it'll say K and then 555 and then a backwards K. And the K, they call them Mercator knives too, is another name for them. Mercator is just Latin for Kaufman, and Kaufman was the name of the original designer and manufacturer of these knives, and that's what this 1K stands for. And then 555 was the street address in Germany, and then K was the name of the street. So that's where the K555K comes from. But Mercator is actually just Kaufman in Latin. They were a very popular design knife, and I believe the Japanese, maybe sometime in the 70s or 80s, started producing these copies and importing them into the United States. I would guess this one's probably maybe from the 80s, something like that. But the blade's also stamped Omar, and it has a pattern number. Looks like J269B stamped on the blade on this side, and then this side it's stamped Stainless Steel Japan. They're very simple knives, very simple design, quite functional and very slim. This one has about a 4 1/4 inch blade on it, and I got some pretty good action back into it. And so that's how that one turned out. Our cat knife copy, that's how it turned out. Let me go ahead and clean up a little bit, make some room, and we'll get the bag and see what we're going to be working on. Be right back. Okay, I have our bag here. Gonna reach in. And try not to get 7 this time. Oh, they're dropping. Okay, this is what we have right here. Interesting. Wow, so we got 4, 6, 8, 9 today. We got 9 knives today. All right, let's see what we have. This one's a Pakistan, I can tell right off the bat. It's actually made in Taiwan, this one here. Looks a lot like a Pakistani lockback. It's locking up. Just a slight amount of play in it. Those typical really sharp cornered handles and brass on it. But it seems to be functioning pretty good. So we'll do some work on that one. Next up, we have this Barlow here with brass bolsters. That's unique. This is made in Pakistan, right? Yep. Nope, China. Stainless China. Pretty good springs, action. This blade's really dirty. It has brass liners. 2-bladed Barlow. So we'll get this one cleaned up. Next up, we have this one right here. And this is a USA stamped. This one was probably made in Providence, Rhode Island, if I had to guess. And it's a 2-bladed model with the second blade broken off. This blade doesn't look too terribly bad. It has been sharpened some, but it's not too bad. So there's that one to fix up. Next up, DE Imperial Diamond Edge. Let's see what the blades look like. This is a 3-blade. Quite a bit of rust on the pen blade right here. I would guess there's going to be some pitting in this one when it's done. The spade blade, also very rusty on both sides. So I'm sure it's going to have some pitting as well. And then the main blade hasn't really been sharpened down a whole lot. And not as much rust on it. It has those brown handle wraps. So there's the before on this one. And then we have this guy here. I feel like I just worked on one like this recently. I'm not sure. This one's just stamped A on the blade. There's just the letter A right there. And the tang looks pretty pitted or corroded. It may have had some writing on the other side, but it's really corroded. Just looking at it overall, I'd say this was made in Pakistan, but I'm not really sure. It's got a very strong spring in it. So that'll be a good user. We'll fix that one up. And then we have this one right here. And this is a Klaus PK3 stainless steel blade made in Japan. Kind of looks like a Victorinox. I believe it's stainless steel liners rather than aluminum like on a Victorinox. Not really any action in the knife. Seems pretty nice. Seems to be pretty well made. Just needs a little cleanup. Not too much, not too bad at all. Definitely needs to be sharpened, oiled up and all that stuff. So we'll get that one fixed up. That won't take too much work at all. Okay, and then the smallest knife in today's hand pick, we have this little one right here. Tiny little keychain knife missing its bail. And it's a Colonial. This blade doesn't look too bad at all. The pen blade here has been sharpened, but it doesn't look too bad. Has a bit of rust on it here and there. And these handle scales are kind of shrunk. Right here, the plastic has shrunk on them. So we'll see what we can't come up with, see what we can't do with this little guy. And then we have another one, similar style, but much larger. And it has a smushed bolster right here. It's a single blader. This is an Imperial. That blade has been sharpened quite a bit, but it still has some life left in it. You could fillet some small fish with this. Very slender blade. So we'll see what we can't do with this old knife right here. And then last up out of today's hand pick, we have this one right here. Another slim single blade. And this one's just stamped Made in America. Right there. This one also had a bail at one time. You can see the hole right there where it's missing. The blade doesn't look too bad. It has been sharpened and used, but not excessively. Not a whole lot of corrosion on it. This one should clean up very nice. So there's another one to work on. Okay, folks, that's it for today's Grab Bag Series episode. I hope you enjoyed it. Come on back next Monday and check out the video where I show all these knives fixed up, and we'll grab some more to work on. In the meantime, check out some of my other content. I've been working on these Colonial fixed blades and Colonial hatchets that I got in, and I'm working on a handle, so I think tomorrow's video might be showing that handle if I manage to get that done. And check that video out. I appreciate it. Like, share, subscribe, all that good stuff. This is Dave. Thanks for watching, and I'm hoping everybody's having a great day. See you in the next one.